My name is Rebecca Kramer, and thank you so much for joining me for another recording of She Hustles, my podcast that I should count how many episodes. Today, I have Christopher Dunson. He is a realtor in Las Vegas. Oh, I miss Las Vegas. I haven't been in a long while, actually. Christopher,
you can come here anytime. I'm inviting you now.
I know. We're gonna come soon. But thank you for joining me, and maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit better than I could. So yeah, I'm so excited to have you.
Hey, I'm stoked to be here with you, and I appreciate you having me on. I'm going to bring a lot of value to everybody today. You're going to see. So my name's Christopher Dunson. I am a professional realtor and team leader here in Las Vegas. I started out investing in real estate before I started helping other people. When I was 25 years old, I was like, dude, I got to do something else. I know I can do something more. And so I decided to quit my job, sell my house, and start flipping houses after reading books and listening to some podcasts. I didn't have a mentor. I was just like, hey, I got to burn the boats and go all in. And if I'm all in, then there's no way that I can fail. So started out flipping houses, buying apartment buildings, learning a lot along the way, a lot about myself, personal development, big transition going from that 9-to-5 deal into building your own dream life, right? And then a couple of years ago, I did great there in the investment space, flipping homes, buying apartments, created about $12,000 in passive income per month in about a year and a half once I got started with apartment buildings. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to start helping other people. So got my real estate license. And when I do things, I don't want to do things on a small scale. I want to do things on a big scale. So first year and a half in helping other people achieve their real estate goals, I got into the top 1% in the US. So very grateful for that. And now my goal is to expand a team throughout Las Vegas, across the US, and help people to reach their real estate dreams, whether it's today or in 10 years. I want them to know that I'm excited for them. I want to help them. And their interest is what's most important. Their goals are what's most important for me. If I can help more people, the more people I can help achieve what they're looking for, the more I can achieve a great life myself, right?
Yeah. Wow, that's very cool. I didn't realize that you were in the top 1% of the whole country. That really is amazing. Congratulations on that. So one of the things I am curious about, if you were able to do this much, I'm sure you must have had to overcome some hard things, some challenging things getting to where you are now. Let's go way back to, maybe it's not way back, but when you were a kid, did you have this sort of, because obviously it takes drive and determination. And
yeah.
you said that you did some personal development as an adult, but what about when you were a kid? This must have started sooner than just being an adult.
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know exactly when it started. I know that my mom told me that I was going to go to jail if I did anything wrong. So it's important to me that I do the right thing. She told me if a woman tells me no, and if I do it anyways, then I'm going to go to jail. So, I don't know if it's because of that. She told me that about walking across the street pretty much. So very grateful to her for instilling something in me that tells me, hey, do the right thing. And she also put me in football when I was 8 years old. Now, I don't know if that was something that made a huge difference. But what I do know is I still keep in shape today. It helped me create some drive. I wanted to be great when I was playing football. I wanted to be the best. And it's very possible that pushed over into my career life, because before I quit my job, I was working in restaurants and I wanted to be great there. I wanted to be the best there. But there was just this cap, and I'm like, where do I go now? You don't go anywhere. There's a cap, and you're kind of working for someone else's dreams that doesn't have a plan set out for you. and your future. They're not coming to you and say, hey, what do you want your future to look like? Where do you want to go in life? And let's help get you there. They don't do that. It's just you're working for them. You're working for their goals. You don't even know what their goals are. And you don't even know what your goals are at that point. So I wanted to do something great. And I decided once I started learning about real estate and taking a couple of other paths before that, and just it wasn't really my deal. When I learned about real estate, it gave me energy. I started, tripping out during the day, getting excited, and I'm still excited right now.
Very cool. So your mom scared you into making sure that you were doing the right thing. I
Well,
mean,
she at least scared me into making sure that I'm respectful to women.
yeah,
you know.
there you go. Yeah, that's, I mean, definitely important. It's especially important to be able to learn from not just like, obviously you learn from her, you learn more than just that, I'm sure. But
Yeah, absolutely.
you said even like when you started diving into the personal development, that interested you and it wanted you to become better and do more. What kind of personal development, like what do you mean personal development?
Yeah. So something else that I noticed, once I was 25, 26 years old, is that, like nobody in my family is living the life that they want to live. Nobody in my family is, I mean, even if the goal is to retire, which it's definitely not for me, I don't even know what kind of goal that is. Like, what am I going to do all day? Nothing.
Yeah.
Watch Netflix. I get bored of Netflix after just a couple hours,
Yeah.
once a week or once a month. So, I looked at my family as an example. And when I saw how they were struggling and they're never going to be able to retire, or they never even planned on it, they don't even know what retirement or their life looks like. They're worried about money. They're stressed about everything. And even my grandpa, I mean, he's still working to this day, cleaning pools in Las Vegas in 115-degree weather, 5 days a week. He's 78 years old. And when I saw those things, my grandpa was a great example to me of, being able to taking care of the family. And he always took care of me. He took me to all my football games from when I was 8 years old, and he went out to all my practices from 8 years old till I was 17 years old. And then I'm looking at this guy and the rest of my family, and I'm like, the people I love, they didn't do it right.
Yeah.
They messed up. What did they miss? And I started looking for that, and I started looking for that within me, and discovered through Grant Cardone. I found him in 2015, or he found me.
Wow, that's a long time ago. Like because Grant Cardone, he's just really only been, like well known for the last couple of years, I guess. So you've been following him for a long time. Sorry for interrupting.
Not at all.
Yeah, very
Not
cool.
at all. Yeah. I'm blessed. I found him in 2015. Changed my life in a lot of ways. Started moving my perspective around of, hey, what does your dream life really look like? What if you took those limits off and said like, oh, I'm okay with this, and actually went for what you wanted when you were 5 years old, when you thought you could do anything in the world, So
Isn't it crazy how kids they like if we could just all be as driven to do something as we were when we were 5 years old, like so motivated that we would do whatever it takes. My daughter is 8 and it's like they have this motivation and drive. They don't care. And I think that it's important that we still do that when we're adults.
Exactly. And they have this endless energy and excitement for things. They're interested in everything. They're excited about everything. And they wake up excited every day. And, I've just begun to be able to find that in my life after 5 and 6 years of pushing and looking and changing my mindset from how I grew up. I guess you can call it middle class mentality, a lot of limiting beliefs. And the problem with the middle class mentality is that people aren't believing things, aren't getting information from people like their parents' information. Their information that they have ingrained in their mind is from their parents or great grandparents' information, because the great grandparents taught their grandparents, the grandparents taught their kids. And so a ton of information that I grew up with is absolutely not even relevant anymore. It was relevant in the early 1900s, even 1800s. So, I want to find out what's relevant now. I want to figure out how can I live a great life today, not 100 years ago when it was, you got 12% interest by depositing money in your bank account. You get, 0.0025% interest in your bank account now. That's not how you succeed by saving money. You got to figure out something else.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some of those things that you learned that you feel like are not relevant, and how have you, like, what are you doing to change your mindset, or to like actually take action the opposite way of what you learned?
Yeah. So as far as let's talk about that bank account deal, right?
Yeah.
People in the early 1900s, even in the 40s and 50s, they would just deposit money in their bank and they'd be good to go for the most part. Get a pretty house with a white picket fence around it, and buy a home. That was the dream, and save your money and have a family, and retire and die. And and that seems to be like the story that a lot of people are going for, right? It's weird when I talk to people and they all have this same story. Hey, what do you want to do? I want to get a house. I want to retire. I want to get married. I want to have some kids. I'm like, is there anything else? Oh, maybe like vacation once a year.
Yeah.
And everyone has the same story. So when you sit back and you think about it, you have to ask yourself, where did these guys get this story from? Did they come up with it on their own? Or did somebody put that in their mind because it was repeated throughout their life and in movies and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So one option, there's a lot of different options. You can definitely get creative and blow your brains out doing research on how to create wealth or lasting legacy of money for you and your family, if that's what we're going to talk about first. And one way to do that is definitely not saving in the bank. One way to do that could be investing in real estate,
There you
right?
go.
It's indestructible. It's always going to be there unless it gets blown up. It's going to keep going up in value. It's been going up in value since the beginning of time. It can't be recreated. There's a limited amount of it. And you can create an income from it. People need a place to live. So, and it's a huge tax write-off. A lot of benefits to owning real estate. And it's not just like that in the US, it's like that across the world.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, some of the things that we've had the opportunity to actually, do, even with what, like, we met you last weekend or the weekend before, and even some of that investment we've been able to actually use, because we have houses that we can take money out of and make decisions to invest in our business, or use the money for other things. And I definitely agree with you when it comes to real estate. What made you choose real estate?
It got me excited.
Yeah.
It kind of started making me trip out. Ashley, can you throw me that pin really quick? Thank you. So I was looking, I mean, if you're a searcher, you're looking for answers. You're looking for maybe the meaning of life. You're looking for how you can do well, how you can provide for your family. And hopefully you're looking for a way not to just think about how can I pay the bills and get by every month.
Yeah.
So back to your question, what was it?
Oh, about the first question that you were answering was about what did you learn versus what did you change? And then I was just commenting on how I love real estate and how did you get into real estate. So I guess I asked you way
Got
too
it.
many questions. I'm sorry.
No, 100%. No, not at all. So like I was saying, if you're a searcher, you're always looking for answers, and I've always been looking for answers. And as long as you don't give up, you will find the answer. Believe in yourself that there's always a way. So while there was a struggle for me trying to get a promotion in this restaurant business that I was in before, right? The industry. I was a busser. I was trying to be a food server. Like wow, like my dream was to be a food server, right? 23, 24, 25 years old. And that was the dream, because they made 60 to 80,000 a year instead of 30 or 40,000 a year. And, just looking for something kind of, I don't know, a little bit shallow that had nothing to do with my dreams or my potential or my ability to help others. So I started searching, and I started doing pre-med in college. I got my first level sommelier certification, which is a wine certification. And I got that so that they would promote me to the food server position. And they promoted all these other people that were not as qualified as I was. It didn't even come close to working as hard as me. And it didn't make sense for me at the time, but now I look at it like, hey, this happened. This did not happen to me. This happened for me. This was a blessing. This was an opportunity. And it caused me to start looking for how I can make the food server deal happen. And then started looking into pre-med, helping other people, respectable profession, they do well financially, right? And then I moved into learning about real estate. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, started listening to podcasts about flipping houses, and discovered Grant through those podcasts. And then I decided to go all in with that. That was the beginning of my personal development. And I heard things like, if you want to take the island, burn the boats. And for me, that meant like, hey, if I want to even have a chance to attain any of my dreams in life, whether it's health-wise or spiritually, financially, great family, great relationships, any of those things, like I need to be all in on those, and I need to take away plan B, the other option, because plan B makes you give up.
Yeah. Burn the boats. I really like that.
So I did that, and I continue to do it. I quit my house, quit my job, sold my house. Best thing I ever did. Sounds weird. And I continue to do that today. I want to burn the boats. I want to put myself in a corner, and I want to give myself every reason to achieve what I know I can achieve and reach for my potential, not what I already did in the past.
Right. So when you say burn the boats, like you mean that you went all in, you quit your job, you told everybody around you what you were doing, and you took action.
Absolutely. I told people what I was doing before I was even doing it.
Yeah.
I told people I had investment properties before I even owned any. And, to burn the boats, one example is when I went in there to quit my job, it actually took me 3 months to get the courage to go in there to the boss and quit the job. And then when I did it, they offered me, they're like, well, you don't really know how it's going to go. Why don't you work here like 2 or 3 days a week? That way, if it doesn't work out, you're going to be okay. And I looked at that like, very nice of them to offer me. That's super cool. But I've always been a saver. I've always been good with my money, putting it in the right spot. If I was working 3 days a week, like I would have been making probably $5,000-6,000 a month or something. And that would have been really easy to live on.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's not going to put me in a position where I have to take action on something that I'm scared of.
Yeah.
So I want to take action on the things that make me nervous. That's where the most growth is in the things that make you, that are, as long as they're a good thing, that's where the most growth is. The things that you're scared of doing. So I had to say no to the 2 or 3 days a week. So I cut it, burned the boats so that I could take the island, what I was really going for at that time.
That's scary, and that's scary for a lot of people. Was there ever a time, like, after you made that decision that, maybe in the beginning, maybe, like, in the middle, that you were like, "Man, I shouldn't have, that was the wrong decision. I like, now what?" Was there ever a time that you felt like that?
Ever a time when I felt like, was it the wrong decision and all that stuff? Like, oops,
Yeah,
did I make a mistake?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, all the time.
yeah,
Um, happened a lot, but that's the thing with going all in. You take away plan B. You
mhm,
know, um, uh, it's like a relationship, and you can apply this to anything in your life. Like, look at a relationship. Like, hey, are you gonna like get married with somebody and like have plan B in the background? Like, your relationship's gonna fail for sure. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So whether it's my relationship or like my health level or my finances or my goals, my dreams and my plans, they can change and they can adapt and I can adapt to them, but I'm not going to give up on my goals and my dreams, and go to plan B. Um,
yeah,
I need to figure that out. There's in the hardships, that's where the most growth is. So I thank God every day. Hey, thank you, God, give me more problems, please, so that I can solve them, because that's where I've grown the most. I did not grow when things were easy and when I was chilling and when I wasn't doing anything or being productive. I never did,
yeah.
you know?
I think that we don't think like that. Like, the normal thing is to think, like, I do have to be safe and responsible and just make sure that I'm looked after just in case. But it's so true that if unless you actually make yourself uncomfortable, you're never going to raise above where you are currently unless you actually take action and take away that plan B. So that's, I mean, that's massive because I think there are lots of people who are, maybe on the edge, or maybe they are in a job that they hate, or maybe they're whatever their situation is, but they're just too scared to actually take that action and worried that they'll fail. But I think when it comes to even that situation, like, you have to be so determined. You don't have to be sure that it's going to work, but you have to be determined that you have um, enough will to keep going and to be successful. And the best way to do that is really to give yourself no other options.
Absolutely. And I might say that you should be sure that it's going to work. If you're Because I guarantee you there is somebody else in whatever field you're in, whether you are the server at the restaurant and that's your dream and you just want to move up in the industry, or whether you are starting a business in any field, there is somebody who is going to make it work or who already has made it work. And with that knowledge, you can take that and feel confident that, hey, if you push hard enough, if you learn what you need to learn, if you apply it, and if you become the person that you need to become to have a successful business or a successful life in whatever way you dream, then you can do that. There's somebody else doing it. And that's all you need is, hey, I know that there's someone else that's doing it, and I believe in myself to do it too.
Exactly. So you're building a team, Christopher. You're building a team in Vegas. That's correct, right?
That's right.
And so what are some things, because there might be some entrepreneurs, some business owners, maybe some people who have a team or who are trying to grow a team, listening. So what are some things that you find that you've learned, because you've obviously learned a lot, that you are able to pass down to your team or help your team with?
Yeah. So what I believe is that, like I was talking about earlier about the limits that I have had in my past, um, most people that I bring on or I hire are going to have those limits in their mind already, those limiting beliefs. Um, and I don't just want to show them how to do extremely well financially. I want to show them how they can either have the right information so that they know what they need to do to achieve the life that they want, or help them and show them where their limiting beliefs may be. A lot of people think that 50 grand a year is good enough, and or 100 grand a year is good enough. The reality is, if you're making 100 grand a year, 30% of it's going to taxes. You're making 70 grand a year. Then you might have a house payment, you might have a car payment, you might want to get some clothes, and let's just say you want to go on 2 vacations per year. Maybe you have kids, maybe you don't. You might have 10 grand left at the end, maybe less, if you're good with your money. So the reality is that it's not possible to create wealth when you're making 100 grand a year. $5,000 a year into an IRA or a 401k is not going to create wealth for you and your family. You look at you go into any financial planning person and they show you the Roth IRA or 401k or whatever. Hey, you can deposit $5,500 a year tax free. You're going to get taxed on it after, by the way. And then they show you, hey, they show you the special number in 40 years. You're going to have $1 million. Right now, $1 million isn't a lot. This isn't 1950 anymore, where $1 million was a good amount of money. And I guarantee you in 40 years, $1 million isn't going to really do anything except for get you groceries, you know? So I want people to do extremely well that are working with me so that they can achieve their dreams, their goals for their future. And I want to help them to show them, hey, what is really necessary if you want to live your dream life, And I would advise anybody that's looking to grow a team or help people to do the exact same thing. Help your team, support your team, support the people that are working with you, help them achieve what they're looking to do, because they're not looking to achieve your goals. They have their own, But if you can show them how to achieve their goals through within the company, then that could be someone that wants to stick with you, that you grow with side by side, and you could be achieving your goals and dreams together, and everybody can be having a great life while you're supporting that team growth, right? And they're supporting your customers, your clients, and creating that future for everybody at the same time.
Absolutely. And what better motivation than to have your leader who you're having to actually do work, but you're learning at the same time. So that's amazing that that you're able to teach your team. So Todd says hi, Todd. I guess
hi, Todd.
John Medina was on earlier. Not sure if you're still there. Hello, John. When it comes to real estate, you're located in Vegas. Do you only look after Vegas, or I guess what's going on in Vegas? Can people buy from you even if they're not in Vegas?
Yeah. So right now I'm growing the company in Las Vegas, right? My goal is to expand to 2 other states next year, and then expand from there across the country over the next 5 to 6 years. And have a massive real estate team going across Las Vegas so that I can help people to achieve their goals in real estate, or even show them. Maybe they just need some information on, hey, is it possible to achieve my goals through real estate? And then I can show them, they can make the best decision for them and their family and their future. But I believe if people do not have the information that they need, the right information, then they cannot make the best decision for them and themselves or their family. So my goal is to make sure that as many people as possible have the right information so that they can see how through real estate they might be able to achieve the goals for them, their family, and their future. And and I know people all across the US, right? 66%. Huh?
And Canada. You know people in Canada too.
I know one person in Canada. No, I know a lot of people in Canada, and throughout the US, there's a statistic that 66% of realtors, there's millions of realtors in the US, in Canada.
Yeah.
66% of realtors do not help a single person. That
That's
means that
huge number.
that's a lot. That means only 34% of the realtors throughout the US, Canada, maybe even the world are actually helping somebody buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate. So to anybody at all, I would say, hey, like, interview some people, do your research, look up people before you work with them. And if you actually need help and you don't want to do that work, I have resources and contacts in every single state across the US. I know people in Canada, I know people in Mexico who practice real estate who are in the top 1% in that specific area. And I would love to introduce them to anybody who needs help so that they can be assured that they're getting the best service, the best information, and somebody that can actually help them, maybe not just with their plans today, but with their plans in the future as well when it comes to their real estate goals.
Yeah, and I think it's important to plan ahead, because just because you're not in a position where you're interested in something right this minute, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't at least educate yourself so that you have the knowledge, so that in the future you can make those decisions with the right information, right?
100%. 100%. Without information, people cannot feel confident in what they're doing. I mean, look at everything going on in the world right now with COVID. Is there COVID? Where is it? Is it happening? Is it hardcore? Is it going down? Are the cases going up? Nobody knows what's going on. And, then at the same time, things in the real estate market, the stock market, all these things, they're just, flying around all over the place, and people are confused.
Yeah.
The news headliners, they're 95% negative, and they're not giving out the right information for people to make the best decisions for themselves. So my goal is to provide the information that is accurate and true, so that, whether it's the right time today or whether it's the right time in 10 years for somebody, they can actually feel confident. If I don't know information about the stock market or about whatever, I can't feel confident. I'm not a bartender. I don't know anything about the stock market. I specialize in real estate. And if you go tell me to make some drink at the bar, I am not going to feel confident to go make that drink. I'll tell you that right now. And so how can somebody that doesn't have the right information about what's going on in the real estate market make such a huge life-changing decision about something in their life?
Yeah.
The answer is they can't. So I want to make sure they have the right information that is the right, true, accurate, honest information, so that they can make those decisions for them and their family with confidence, and so they can win in their future.
Absolutely. So last question, and you can answer it however you like. What are you the most excited about right now? So whether that's in business, whether that's for your own self, what are you the most excited about right now?
I am most excited today about being on this with you.
Oh, fabulous.
I'm stoked to be on here in front of your audience with you. It's very exciting. So I'm stoked about that. And hopefully you can tell by my energy that I'm excited to be here. Absolutely. And in my life, I'm getting to a point with my company and my production where I'm able to actually start helping people in my family to retire, such as my grandfather, right? In November, I'm going to be able to help him to retire. So I'm stoked for that. And I believe that first we need to help ourselves.
Yeah.
And then once we can help ourselves, pay our bills, not have those kinds of worries, we can start helping our family. And then once we can start helping our family live a great life, maybe that's investing with me in real estate. Maybe I'm just helping them out because, it's time and they're not going to figure it out on their own. Then I can start helping my community. Once I get that figured out, maybe one day I can actually start helping the world. And so I'm excited to be taking that second step right now and begin to start helping my family and expanding what I'm doing with the company. The more people I help, the more people I think about helping, and the bigger my goals get. I don't write down, hey, I sold, 300 homes this year every day. I write down, I helped 300 people this year.
Wow,
you know,
that's cool.
and the bigger my dreams get, the more I think about how many people I can help, the more excited I get and the more energy I get. And that's what I'm
Yeah,
most excited about today, is to become the person that I need to be able to help as many people as I can with their goals and their dreams. Maybe I just inspire them through a video, or maybe I actually help them to change their life through real estate. And that's what
yeah,
I'm excited about, is helping people.
that's very cool. And just to not correct you, but you said that maybe in the future you would be able to help people, in the world. But the reality is, if you're talking about how you got to be successful in front of other people, just like we are right now, you could be impacting people all over the world, and just not be face to face with them. So just to correct you just slightly,
Love
it's
that.
possible that it's
Love
happening
that.
right now. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that. Absolutely. It's already, I'm already able to start helping
exactly,
people around the world. So appreciate that.
exactly, exactly.
I need to
So
get corrected more. So I like when people correct me.
absolutely. I mean, of course, I see you on social media. I see you going live. I see you being an example. And I think we don't realize how much we affect other people. So I just wanted to correct you on that one. That I would tend to believe that it's actually happening already. That you don't have to wait until after you take the other steps. That you're already doing it.
Hell
So
yeah. Boom.
thank you so much, Christopher Dunson, for joining me today. And for anyone who's interested in connecting with Christopher, maybe you can. What's the best way to get a hold of you? We'll also put it below our videos on each of the different platforms. But if somebody wanted to reach out to you, Christopher, what would be the best way?
Yeah, you can reach out to me via Instagram, Facebook. Instagram is Christopher.Dunson, Christopher.Dunson. And my Facebook, Christopher Dunson. I have a company account. I have a personal account. Reach out to me on any of those, LinkedIn, whatever's best for you. I want to connect with you. I want to learn more about you. And if it's possible for me to help, I'm excited. I'm excited to help people.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And don't forget to join my Facebook group, my free Facebook group, which is Social Selling Growth Masters. And tune in next week for another recording of my podcast, She Hustles. Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for joining. And thanks to you, Christopher.
Love that. Thank you.